What's up, YouTube? 3Pedal J here. Gonna do a quick video about the reveal that we waited for months and months from Dodge. If you can tell by the sound of my voice, I'm not very impressed. I'm thoroughly disappointed, actually. But I want to break down what I saw. I want to put something out there real quick and give my take on what's going on. There's going to be a ton of takes out on the tube here soon, so let's just jump into it. So as we all know, Dodge's EV is coming out here at the end of 2024. Everybody's seen the leaked or purposely leaked footage, so there's no surprise there of the cars being tested, and as we expected, it looks exactly like the leaked vehicle, so nothing surprising there. It's gonna have some small entry-level electric motor. It's gonna have a 400-volt electric motor, and then they're gonna have the 700-volt Banshee electric motor, probably for the 2025 model year. In addition to that, as we all know, that it's got a transmission tunnel, so they've confirmed that the Hurricane boasts the standard output and the high output. The standard output is 500 or 4 something 100 horsepower, and then the high output is over 500 horsepower, 504 pounds of torque. Twin turbos, they're calling it the 6-pack. That pretty much pissed me all the way off, because Dodge is saying it's the direct connection to the past, and they're using the 6-pack moniker, but 6-pack in the past were 3 two-barrel carburetors, which gave you significant improvement on the street. You could drive for fuel efficiency on the street on 2 barrels, and then when you go to the track, you can floor it, and there was a mechanical linkage, and the front carburetor and the rear carburetor opened up to give you 6 barrels instead of 4 barrels, delivering more fuel, etc. My father has had several 6-pack vehicles, so I'm intimately familiar with the 6-pack moniker, and to me that was just kind of a cheap way of trying to get people excited. I think Dodge could have did better on that. I will say that I think Dodge is trying hard, or let me say this, I think Tim Kuniskis is trying hard to slow down or stop the inevitable, which I believe Stellantis is going to sell off Dodge in the next 3 to 5 years. Evidenced by that today, you know, we didn't learn anything new about the Charger offering. It's really not that impressive. I will say there are 2 or maybe 3 takeaways that I thought that were really cool about it. It looks like Dodge is smartening up. Instead of having 2 or 3 model cars with the same power plants, they're gonna use the same chassis and make it a 2-door or 4-door. I think that was brilliant, because people like me who want 2 doors as opposed to 4 doors, muscle cars or EV, what have you, EV muscle, e-muscle, that's a brilliant move in my opinion. So I kind of like that. So for 2025, the 4-door version will be out. And before I even continue, I want to shout out Butter the Insider. Butter the Insider, or Butter the Great on Instagram. He confirmed all of this stuff 3 to 4 months ago. I don't know who he knows or how he knows the people that he knows, but he's got tremendous insight as to what's going on inside Stellantis Dodge, and he put all of the information out a while ago. So Butter, if you're watching, or if you're even, you know, if this gets to you somehow from my tens of followers, peace to you, brother, man. You nailed it spot on from the very beginning, before any of these press releases were out. The press release was really cinematically impressive, but informationally, it was lacking. We already knew that Dodge was going to put the Hurricane in. We already knew that they weren't going to sell the Hemis, and they made it very clear that they can't sell Hemis anymore. So there's that. At least they haven't completely abandoned combustion or ICE vehicles. We are going to get the Hurricane, which again nobody wants, similar to the Hornet, similar to all things electric vehicles. But they're trying, and I think they're taking a page out of the Ford playbook, which is make EVs, get the credits, and then offer an internal combustion variant that will keep things afloat. Unfortunately, it's not a V8, but there's a flip side to that. The Hurricane engine has a ton of potential. It is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's a direct injected engine with twin turbos, so 3 banks. It's an inline 6, similar to the 2JZ design and the old slant 6, 225, 170 of the past, the 4-liter slant 6. It's an inline 6 version. There's been plenty of variants of that motor. BMW makes a great version. The 2JZ is a great version. It's a very well proven platform. It's very well balanced. It has a tremendous upside power potential wise, as we all know by the 2JZ. The problem with the Hurricane, in my opinion, is it's direct injected. Direct injection is amazing for fuel efficiency, for burning clean, and things of that nature. But when it comes to tunability and modding, it's not really the move. So if the aftermarket steps up and gives us a port injection intake for the Hurricane, it could potentially be a modder's dream. Obviously, as everyone has said it, Mod to Fame, other people, MRH, Modern Red Hemi, have said, the exhaust note is just not what we want. We want, those of us who are Dodge's core audience, and I consider myself their core audience, we want a V8. But it is what it is. We're not going to get that. Now, I love turbos. As everyone who follows me knows, turbos are my thing. So the idea of an engine coming from the factory that's already suited for turbos, that's kind of impressive, because we could probably take and get rid of the twin turbos and go to a nice big single turbo and make power, and wouldn't require a whole lot of modifications to the electronics. Of course, people are going to get the standalones and go that route as well. We'll see. I'm excited about the potential of seeing one of these EV versions. I want to see what the price point's going to be. I'm expecting somewhere in the $40,000 to $50,000 range, upwards to $100,000 for the Banshee variant of, or offering of this vehicle, which is way out of my price point. I'm disappointed that there's no manual. I'm 3-pedal J. There's no manual version of this, not even with the Hurricane. Clearly, no one likes the speaker sound system exhaust. That's just kind of, I don't even want to get into it because I don't want to be negative, but I'm not impressed by that at all. And I suspect that many of the diehard Dodge enthusiasts aren't impressed either. So I think what's going to happen is Dodge knew that they had to stop offering the V8s, but keep in mind the Hemi ran from 2003 to 2024, right? So you can still pick up a 6.2 Hemi and a SRT Hellcat Durango. You may be able to still get them in some of the heavier duty trucks like the 2500s and the 6.4 variants, and then obviously direct connection and Mopar have new blocks that haven't been sold that you can buy as crate motors or what have you. And then there's always the junkyard route, which is the route that I would go. It looks like the frame rails on this new Charger have been positioned to support a Hemi. It looks like we can actually do an actual Hemi swap, and I suspect that there are going to be many people that pick this vehicle up, rip the electronics out of it, or rip that Hurricane engine out of it before the Hurricane engine gets support, and we're just going to throw our Hemis in it. I know for a fact that if I get my hands on one, I refuse to go electric. I will totally pull all the electric crap out of it, and I will throw either a 5.7, a 6.4, or even a 6.1 in it, and go that route. It's interesting because I don't think you're gonna have to deal with emissions for that vehicle based on its VINs, so you can get away with a lot of things if you were to pick one of these up and then you put the Hemi. You don't really have to deal with the EPA because it's an electric vehicle VIN, so they're not gonna be able to bother you. So we could actually run standalones on this deal and have fun. I'm sure some regulations will come into play to stop that, but It's not gonna stop me if I get my hands on one. My biggest problem with it is there's no manual option, and that's just not gonna work for me. So I will stick with my 3-pedal offerings from 2009 to 2023 vehicles, and I'll just continue to go that way. But overall, there's some encouraging thoughts. You know, the Hurricane engine has a lot of potential. I like that Dodge took and will make a 4-door variant and a 2-door version of it. I think that's very genius. I think Tim is trying his hardest to save the company. I just don't think that the overall head honchos at Stellantis understand what we Americans want and what's gonna keep us buying their brand. It's gonna be interesting in the next 3 to 5 years. I'd like to see how things unfold, and I suspect that there are going to be a lot of people out there like myself that are going to start picking up these Hemis, blown up or not, and doing cool stuff with them. But that's going to do it for this one. Just wanted to give my response to the release today. No frills, just me and my truck, about to go back into work. But yeah, if you like the content, subscribe, ring the bell, hit the notifications, and stay tuned. It's race season, so we're gonna get back after it. All right, peace.